All right, we got two things here. First, we're going to do a quick update on the property line dispute going on at this field. Then we'll get into the cat part of the story, which is a little interesting. So for those that have been following along for like the last year or so, know that we've been having issues with this particular field and that particular neighbor. And for anybody that watched my fertilizer spreading video from the other day knows that that pool cover was drug out here by that landowner, saying that that was marking her property line. Well, that night after I got done out here, I texted my landlord, said, hey, this is getting a little out of hand, something's got to happen. If she's right, she's right, but we got to get this straightened out. Well, this is one of those stories that's going to end with that property owner probably never should have brought it up, because it's going to hurt them a lot more than it's going to hurt my landlord here. You can see where that pool cover is, and you can see a stake there and a stake there down by that tree, and then there's going to be another one down there in that wood lot. So they actually have stuff on my landlord's property, and if I wanted to, I could farm another 20 feet that way. So this is one of them deals where she just should have let me keep doing what I was doing, and it never would have been a problem. But now they're going to be at a loss for it. I kind of figured that was how it was going to end up, because if you look, we have a really good app for, now it's not an app, it's a website called, made by a company called the Schneider Group, called Berrien County Beacon. Actually it's just Beacon, but there's Berrien County, there's several other counties that are free, and then I think there's some you got to pay for. Well, luckily our county is a free county, and it's basically an online plat book. And when I pulled that up and pulled up the property lines, it showed the property line right where those flags are. So it's not going to turn out good for them. They should have just left me alone, and this would have never been a problem. But that's got me curious where the one up here at the front corner is as well. I'm trying to not let them know that I'm out here. Okay, so the front one is there on that side of the telephone pole. You can see a flag hanging in that bush, and you can kind of see an orange flag down there in that patch of grass, so that one's about right. But this one back here, they're gonna have to move all their shit here on this corner because it's on this side of the line. I kind of thought that was what was gonna end up happening. But I wanted to get out here and look at it because my landlord's representative texted me this morning and said they were going to be out here, and I wanted to get out here and look at it before she had a chance to move the markers, because I hate to say it, I think that's something she would try doing. It wouldn't do any good, because they're also sending my landlord a actual digital copy of the survey so we can re-find them, and they should have pounded, if the stakes weren't there, they should have pounded new stakes and the whole 9 yards. So, and moving a what's the word I'm looking for, not certified, basically moving a survey stake that has been put down by a licensed surveyor and's got the cap on it and the whole 9 yards. If I remember right, I don't know if that's I know it's a crime. I don't know if it's a felony, but I know for a fact that moving survey stakes is a big no-no. She should have just let it be. This is a perfect example of a fuck around find out scenario. Which you try not to be a dick about it, but especially last year last fall, when she literally chased me down after we moved the combine off of here, and I had it back at the farm in the driveway fueling it up, and she literally pulled in the driveway, pulled off into the yard, and walked up to me and said, hey, you need to move, you need to quit plowing so far out, and yada yada. It's like, after that, it's like, you know what, I'm done with this shit. You try to be good neighbors, but there's some people that just don't allow that to happen. I memean, field boundaries, they move a couple feet a year. You especially with tillage equipment pushing, you know, the 60-foot mark now. Even with GPS, you're running at speed. You throw dirt over 4 or 5 inches a foot, and you might move a field over a little bit in a year, and then the next year you realize what you did, so you pull back a foot to pull in. Field boundaries, they just tend to do this. It's just a thing about farming, but you don't. And you'll notice I'm not using my hand right, but we'll get to that in a minute. But like, you don't move a field boundary 10 freaking feet. That's not how that works. When I started farming this, it had grown up to weeds, so I started farming the weeds. If it was a problem, they should have made it a note. And her husband is the one that got me this field, so it's not like, I don't know. But he's since passed on, as far as I know. So anyhow, I don't want to be a dick about it, but on the other hand, it also makes you laugh a little bit, 'cause you're like, if you just let it be, it could have just kept on going the way it was going, and now you're the one that's in the wrong. So, but I told my landlord I would take a couple pictures of those stakes before she gets a chance to move them. If she moves, I'd hope she wouldn't be the kind of person to move them, but just in case. And then I'm going to walk a little bit and see where the other ones ended up, just to know where they are. And then, cause I already found the one up here at this corner. And then we'll head back to the house, and we'll tell you the cat story real quick. All right, we're back. I went out and walked around the field out there, and I found all but 2 of the stakes. There was 2 of them that are out in the woods, and I looked at where they should be, and I looked at what I'd have to go through to get to them. I was like, nah, I don't need to know where they're at that bad. They don't affect me any. But I was walking along that back, or that south line where the actual border dispute's been, and she comes out, and she's just nice as could be this time, except she said, well, those are his stakes, not mine. I really wanted to say, well, they're kind of both of yours. That's the property line. Well, if we have any more freaking problems. So anyhow, I think what I'm gonna do is at least on that one corner post, I think I might take a T-post out there and drive it in the ground and paint it red. Just, good fences make good neighbors, something like that. But anyhow, the cat story. So you can see my hand is a little screwed up, not nearly as screwed up as it was 2 days ago. So Tuesday night, right? Yeah, Tuesday night. It had rained Tuesday morning, couldn't do shit. So I got home, and it was raining when I got home, and I had some things I wanted to do outside, so we went inside and waited the rain out, and went back outside and started doing some stuff. And I've been working in the woods behind my house with the Mini, taking out trees and everything, starting to clean up brush and stuff. And it was buried all the way up in the back of the barn against the combines, because I've been using the 66 and the white and getting stuff around for planting, which hasn't even started yet, because we got 3/4 of an inch rain again last night, and more coming tonight, or 3/4 of an inch rain yesterday, more coming tonight, and then rain all next week. But anyway, so I had to pull the white and the 66 out to get to the Mini, and I get out of the white, and I hear the dogs barking. Well, dogs are barking because they cornered a cat, and the cat had wedged itself down under the corn picker, and they could get to it, or well, it could get to them, but they couldn't really get to it. And I tried calling them off, and they were dead set that they were going to get this cat. So I found a spot where I could get to it, and I was hoping to get it by the nape of the neck, where it'd go, the cats have that one spot that's like their factory reset button. I found it, and I had a spot where I can get a hold of it, and I thought I was fast enough. Well, it zigged when I thought it was going to zag, and that thing turned around and bit me right on that knuckle. There's that little scab right there and that little scab right there. And I mean, I've been bitten by dogs, horses, cows, pigs, non-venomous snakes, a possum. I mean, I've been bit by so many things it's not even funny. Squirrels, I've never had a single issue. It's just a cat bite. It was really superficial. It quit bleeding almost immediately. It's just, you know, 2 small little poke marks. How bad could it be? So right after it happened, I said, screw this. So I let the dogs keep going after it, and I went in the house and washed it up with soap and water and hydrogen peroxide and let it bleed for a little bit, and then washed it with soap and water again, tried to get it cleaned up real good. And I mean, the cat didn't look mangy. It was big, fat, fairly well groomed. It wasn't like it was sickly or had rabies or anything, and the only reason it was pissy is because there was dogs after it. So I wasn't thinking rabies or anything like that. So I went to bed Tuesday night, didn't think nothing of it. I mean, it was a little sore, but I figured being bit right on the knuckle, it might have bruised something, or, you know, something like that. Wednesday morning, woke up, the entire back of my hand was all puffed up. I couldn't move my pointer finger. It looked bad. So I called my boss, said, hey, I'm probably not going to be in today because I got to go to the doctor because I can't use my hand. I mean, throbbing, it was bad. So I went to the walk-in clinic that Wednesday morning, and they looked me over, got me some 10 days worth of it's amoxicillin mixed with something else, but antibiotic, 125 milligram pills are about the size of a damn penny. Not exactly the easiest things to swallow. And I came home, and I also found out that I hadn't had a tetanus shot in like 10 years. So I figured while I was there, I'd get a tetanus shot. So they gave me a tetanus shot, and I don't know if it was the antibiotics entering my body or the tetanus shot or what. But I got home, and about all I could do was sleep. I don't know if it was my body fighting the infection or what, because the back of my hand was super hot. I didn't have a fever, but the back of my hand was super hot. Like, you could touch it, and it was hot. Like, there was some serious fighting going on in there. Well, by Wednesday afternoon, the red had migrated from about the mid back of my hand right here up to my wrist. I was like, well, that's not good, because once that stuff hits your arm, that's usually, you know, on the super highway to your chest. So I had Dad take me to the emergency room, and sat in the emergency room for 6 hours. I think by the time, because we got there about 4:30, and I think we finally left a little after 9:30, so 5 hours. Got to have a little bit of entertainment. There was a chick in there that was going absolutely ballistic. 2 paramedics had to tackle her and handcuff her, and they strapped her to a gurney. That was interesting. But anyhow, got through the ER. They weren't as concerned with it as I was. They did take x-rays of it, because apparently it's also common in cat bites for a piece of tooth to break off in the wound. So they wanted to make sure there wasn't any tooth in there, which there wasn't, luckily. And at that point, I had only taken one of those amoxicillin tablets, so she said it hadn't really failed yet enough for them to have any concern. She said keep taking it, and if I haven't seen any improvement by Friday, which is today, I needed to come back in, and they needed to do some blood work and possibly get me on an IV. Well, the red has pretty much subsided. The swelling is pretty much, well, this morning when I woke up, the back of my hand was still glass smooth because my skin was all puffed up and pulled tight. Now I got wrinkles back again, so the swelling is basically confined to this knuckle now. Which that finger still hurts. It's still, if I let my hand hang, like, I can't do that for very long, because I can feel my heartbeat in my pointer finger, and it hurts. So I've been walking around with my hand like this because that's the only comfortable spot where I can't feel my heartbeat in it. So basically for the last 3 days, I have been down and out. Driving was a little bit sketchy because I couldn't use this hand, so I had to do everything with my right hand, which luckily I'm a righty to begin with. If this would have been my right hand, I'd have really been up shit creek. But, so yeah, we're on the downhill slope. I've been able to start using these 3 fingers and my thumb somewhat today. This finger still I can't straighten it out. It wants to stay about like that, and I can curl it to about right there. And if I hold it, it'll loosen up a little bit, and I can slowly work it around. But then when you let go of it whole and you let it go back to right there, oh, that hurts. So hopefully by morning that swelling is pretty much subsided all the way. I've been checking it for pus every night. The infection must not be that bad because I've gotten a little bit out of it once, both wounds, and really that's about it. So the infection isn't creating a whole lot of pus, which is good. So, but apparently, and this is the PSA for this video, I didn't know it because I've never been bit by a cat, never had a reason to learn it. So hopefully this will help somebody out so that you don't suffer the same fate I did and get knocked out for a week. Cats, all cats, doesn't matter if they're if they're, you know, house cats, stray cats, barn cats, all cats apparently have a bacteria in their mouth, and if you get bit, it is 99% of the time going to get infected. So if you get bit by a cat, you need to get inside, wash it with soap and water and hydrogen peroxide, and once you get it cleaned up and get the bleeding stopped, you need to go to a hospital and get on antibiotics, otherwise this is what's going to happen. So there's your fun fact for the day. So not that it matters much anyway, because like I say, we had rain Tuesday. It was halfway decent Wednesday, but it was still wet. It rained all day. I mean, all day yesterday, like from 6 in the morning until 6 at night, all day. Only ended up with 3/4 of an inch, but it was an all day soaker rain. So there's water standing everywhere again. We got rain coming after midnight tonight. I think we got rain most of the nights coming up, and it's got rain forecasted all next week. And it's just, if we do get started planting, we're going to be planting until the end of June, which I don't mind planting beans till the end of June. You can still make a crop off of that. Corn, second week of June, that's the cutoff. Me and my boss have been talking about it. It's like, that's the cutoff line. Second week of June, you're done. So it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. There is nothing, I mean, there is nothing planted around here. I mean, I've talked to some guys that are farming, you know, 5, 6, 7,000 acres, and they're less than 100 acres planted, which is substantial. And there's a few guys, one of the guys that I'm friends with farms around the corner from me. They're one of those that nobody really knows exactly how much they farm, but I'd guess at least 5,000 acres, but I'm going to say more than that, but 5,000 for sure. They've got nothing in the ground. They've got a few hundred acres that was field cultivated, but they were trying to get it broke open to dry out, and it started raining again. So they had, I mean, it's bad around here. I know it's bad in a lot of places in the Midwest. I know most of the rain we've been getting has been getting on the other side of the lake too. So planting progress is kind of shit all over the central United States right now. But so anyhow, hopefully this thing's feeling a little bit better by tomorrow, because can't really do much. Well, can't do any field work. I could probably go trim some trees, but not with my hand like this. That'd just be asking for another accident. So there's a small farm liquidation / international collector's auction just north of here I'd like to go to tomorrow. It sounds like Shelly wants to come too, so that'll be her first auction. So I'd like to go to that for you guys, because there's some pretty nice straight internationals, and there's a couple pieces I'd like to bid on, but we'll see. It's not a very well advertised auction, so I'm hoping stuff goes kind of cheap. Sucks for the seller, but it's good for the bidders, I guess. So that's where we've been. That's how come I've been kind of quiet the last 3 days, is because I've basically been down and out and haven't left the house much, because even walking with this thing hurts. So hopefully tomorrow at least the pain's gone. Ibuprofen, it does knock the edge off of it, but it doesn't take it all the way away. If I move too fast, like if I go like that fast, and any fast movement, that's no bueno. So anyhow, that's where we're at. That's the 2 updates I had for you today to get a video out. I got some more Charles City videos done. Those will probably be up next week while it's raining, so those will be coming up. Got that hopefully auction video for tomorrow. Hopefully by Monday I'm back up and going, so I can get back to work, because I haven't even been to work the last 3 days, because I can't use that hand, so you can't even wrench on anything. So yeah, that gets everybody up to speed with my stupid story and that border dispute. So I guess with that being said, that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Sorry it was a dumb video, but it was a dumb accident.